what's up, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Uh, I'm I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, like normal. Man, we've had a couple busy weeks of wrestling. The last couple weeks, went and done a couple of wrestling shows. Done like I think six or seven interviews in the last 2 weeks. Already have at least one scheduled for next week, possibly maybe well, already two supposed to be scheduled and possibly a third. So looks
Yep,
like we're gonna have a busy week this week. But how you doing today, Dad?
doing pretty good. I know we're gonna be have a real busy weekend next weekend.
Oh yeah, next weekend's gonna be a fun weekend. Two shows back to back, Saturday and Sunday. One's an outdoor show at Soul Fest in Anderson, Indiana. That's on Saturday night. So by the time you listen to this, it'll be over. But if you listen to this Sunday morning, there's a show at the National Guard Armory on
So
Country Club Road here in Muncie, Indiana.
they'll see it this Sunday. They'll see it.
Oh yeah, because that's next week.
Yeah, it's next week.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, next Saturday and Sunday, the 6th and 7th.
Yep.
Saturday's at the Soul Fest in Anderson. Be outside show. Should be a great show. The Pope Elijah Burke is going to be on that card. Uh, I think they're called the Russell Twins or something, Russell Brothers or something. They wrestle. I've wrestled on AEW Dark and stuff. They're going to be there. Uh, Zane something that's also been. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but I think his name's Zane. He's going to be in a triple threat match that I'm really looking forward to with IK3 and Blake Money, right?
Yep.
So
That should
yeah,
be
if
awesome.
you're a wrestling fan, if you can't get to them shows, come join us live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. But yeah, should be a great weekend because then on Sunday you have the show at the National Guard Armory, and it's a benefit show for Jordan Noble, who I believe is like 9 or 10 years old, I believe,
Yep.
and he has a MPS. I'm to be honest, I don't know all of what the disease is, but I know he's had to have quite a few surgeries, and
And
he's
there's
getting
no
ready to
cure.
have like a 10-hour surgery,
Yeah, and there's no cure
and
for it at this point
yeah,
either.
and there's no cure for it. So they're doing a benefit. All the money from the tickets, from everything, will go to help Jordan's family for travel and all and stuff the insurance don't cover. But on top of that, the Noble family is donating half of the money to the MPS awareness thing. So half the money is going to a place that's trying to find a cure, and
Yep.
half the money is going to help a young boy. So it's an important show. If you can be there, I think it's
Yep.
$20 front row, $10 general admission. The Pope Elijah Burke is going to be there as well. You'll have Rachel Armstrong, Dex, all the normal DCCW people, JKO.
Yep.
So it'll be two great shows next weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too.
And our buddy Sam Mitchell's going to join us on the 7th,
Yep.
so that'll be fun. I think he's really going to enjoy this show, just because I think this show might have a few more fans,
Yep.
and with the Pope being there and stuff, I think he'll really enjoy this DCCW show.
Yeah, I agree.
Hope he brings his little cousin though, because
Yeah.
that dude's crazy.
Yep.
Hey, he'll tell the wrestlers what he thinks. He don't care. If he thinks it's terrible, he's gonna let you know it's terrible. But
Yep.
then 10 seconds later, he's gonna be cheering you.
Yep.
But no, well, real quick before we talk about some of the other stuff, what do you think about the last two shows we've been at? We was at Kokomo one weekend. I had a blast there. I love the crowd there.
Yep.
They got a nice facility there. We did have a little bit of internet trouble at first, but we was able to get it figured out. And from the way the guy talked, I think it'll be fixed for next time. And we won't have to worry about it. But I thought it was a very entertaining show. But then follow that up with the Warrior Pro Fair Fight last Saturday, and it was a great show. I had a great time. Uh, I thought Buck Sexton and everybody involved done a great job of getting it set up and everything. Because I know when you're used to one venue and you move over to another one like that, especially outside. Kind of, well, it was outside, but you were covered.
Yep.
But I mean, the ground was sand and stuff, so I mean, there was some things you had to change, but I thought they done a great job.
I did
I
too.
thought it was pretty cool that they had that blow up screen and was still able to put their graphics up on the screen like they do inside. So, but no, what'd you think about the two shows? I really enjoyed them, and that WPW show I thought was a real solid show.
Yeah, I
Uh,
thought both shows were very good.
I haven't watched it all back, but I watched some of it back, and
Yeah.
that still cage match was just an awesome match. I watched it back the other night after we done that recap, and I watched that match again, and man, that was a good match. Both them guys deserve a lot of credit because they put on a show.
Yep. Yeah, both shows were outstanding. Both very different shows. Uh, AACW is more old school style of wrestling. They got some real good storylines going right now, some interesting stuff. So, I mean, I thought it was real good. Of course, World Pro, they've been working all year long, their first year on storylines, and this was kind of their blow off show in a way. A fair fight. They had a great crowd, and it was a great show. It delivered 100%. So, yeah, I thought both shows were great.
Yeah, they had over at the Kokomo show. There was probably I would say close to 300. I know it was over 200. It was close to 300 people there.
Yeah,
And then at that fair fight, I know that they've said it was over 400 people there. They
yeah.
were saying like 425 or something.
I heard 425, and then I heard it might have even been more than that, closer to not to at 500, but pretty close to it. So yeah,
So, I
between
mean, both
four and 500.
in the summertime, I mean that's great to get that kind of fans. Uh,
Yeah,
but no, I ain't gonna lie, I'm interested in seeing where Warrior Pro is going to go now because I mean, basically now they'll be starting a whole new storyline.
yep.
So it's going to be interesting there. But well, what you want to talk about first? You want to talk about you want to do the show reviews first, and then talk about
Yeah,
some of the other stuff.
yeah. We'll start with the show reviews. We'll start off with Monday Night Raw, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit about the changes being made because Triple H has took over Raw, and we'll get into that. But a lot of people think there's going to be a lot of big changes right away. That's not going to happen. But first of all, I'll say what I liked. The way they started the show off, they started off the show when they came on, and you had a fight going on in the ring with The Miz and Logan Paul. I thought that was really good. And then they went into promos after that with Theory coming out, and you had the Bloodline, and I thought it was pretty well done. I enjoyed it. Thought the show had some really good wrestling on it. The first match on the show was Theory and Drew McIntyre. I thought it was a really strong match. Uh, then you had that turn into had a disqualification from Theory, and then Sheamus came out and attacked Drew, and then different stuff happened. So they had Drew and Lashley taking on Theory and Sheamus in a tag match. It was pretty solid. Uh, Drew and Lashley getting the win. Uh, they had the Mysterios against the Judgment Day. I thought it was an outstanding match. I thought the promo beforehand with Rey Mysterio being his 20th year in the WWE, and they was at Madison Square Garden. I thought it was really well done. He got to make a speech, kind of, and talked about Eddie Guerrero and some of the other great wrestlers that
Yeah, I
he had
thought that was awesome.
thought it was really well done. Uh, I think I thought it was kind of interesting to have Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles tag team up together. I think that could be interesting. I don't know where they're going with Ziggler. I don't know
And
where they're going with
one
Styles.
thing back to Mysterio real quick. Not only was him talking awesome, but the match they
Yeah,
had was an outstanding match. I mean, it was real good. I really enjoyed it.
yeah. Raw was a really wrestling heavy show, which is unusual for them. It's hard in 3 hours, but they had a lot of wrestling, and I thought that was the match of the night probably, even though the Bloodline. Uh, Against the Street Profits and Riddle was really strong too. So I thought Raw was a good show. One thing I didn't like on the show was Logan Paul had a segment. I forget what he called it, but had Maurice come out and then the Miz. I just thought it was terrible. I didn't care for it at all. But I thought Raw was a good show. It's going to be interesting to see the changes they make slowly. But I thought Raw was a decent show. I know you watched it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty solid show. I enjoyed the way it started. The only thing I would complain about a little bit, I think I would have done the Logan Paul and Miz segment in the middle of the show a little differently. I didn't think that went over as good as it could have. I think if you tweaked a couple of things out, could have been a lot better segment. But other than that, I really, and not that that was terrible, but that was one of the like to me probably the weak part of the show.
Yeah, it
Where
was.
I know it got a lot of views, but because of who was in it, but still. But no, I thought it was a real good show. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to SummerSlam tomorrow.
Yeah, I am too. We'll be talking about SummerSlam too here in a little bit. Okay, next we had NXT. Uh, it started off. What I liked about the show, I tell you what, the show was really good. It was really well paced. I thought the promos was good. I thought the wrestling was good. It started off with Zoe Stark, who came back last week. She'd been out from a knee injury. They said she was going to be out a year. She'd come back in 9 months. So she came out with a promo and set up a match with her later in the night with Gigi Dolan. So the first match I had was Grayson Waller and Wes Lee. Real strong match. Grayson Waller picking up the win there. Then we had a promo by Joe Gacy. I think the promo was pretty solid. He's Cameron Grimes been on a losing streak, and he's calling out for Cameron Grimes to join his group. So we'll see what happens from there. Had Apollo Crews and Zion Quinn, another strong match. Apollo Crews getting the victory there. Had the Zoe Stark match. She defeated Gigi Dolan. That was also a good match. And then the next two matches of the night were outstanding. Had Andre Chase of Chase U, who his wrestling's pretty good and his character is starting to get over. I don't know where they would go with it going forward, but he took on Giovanni Vinci, who's new to the scene in the last 6 weeks or so. He used to be part of a tag team with Walter and I can't think of the other guy's name now. Gunther and his tag team partner. They used to be a group together. But his new gimmick, I think, is pretty good. The match was outstanding. Vinci getting the victory, but it was really good. And then the main event of the night was the Diamond Mine. All four of them taking on the Tony D'Angelo family. Another outstanding match. It was probably match of the night. Really good. The D'Angelo family picking up the win. Again, the show flowed good, had great pacing. I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with Grimes. I really like Grimes, so I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. I haven't watched NXT this week. I'm interested. I'm interested. Well, I know we'll talk. Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm interested in just to see what happens with the Raw. Well, actually, basically all of it, Raw and SmackDown and NXT. I think all three of the shows are probably going to have at least a little bit of change. Um,
Oh yeah, definitely.
with things changing. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Because honestly, I think Triple H is going to could even take it to another level with some of his the mind he has.
I think so too. I think a lot of people. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
We'll get into that at the more towards the end. Next, we got an AEW Dynamite. What I liked about it, okay, first match was Moxley and Roosh. Real strong match, pretty well done. There were some things I didn't like about the match, which I'll get into here in a minute. Had Ricky Starks against Dan Hausen. Dan Hausen's a guy that I don't get, but of course I didn't get some of the other guys at first either. So I'll give it time. He won the match pretty quickly, but then made an open challenge, wanted to have another match. Well, Taz's son Hook comes out and accepts the challenge and ends up choking Ricky Starks out for the victory and for the FTW championship. So and didn't know where it was going to go from there. And they go to break and they come back. Well, Starks is in the ring with a microphone. He give Hook props. Hook won the match fair and square, and that now is his time. He's not going to be held back anymore. And out of nowhere, his tag team partner Hobbs attacks him from behind and beats him down. I thought it was pretty interesting. So they're definitely going to look like they're going to make Starks a good guy. I think maybe it looks like Taz is turning good guy and probably Hook. So it was kind of interesting. Thought it was pretty well done. The only criticism I had, is right after that segment and after Hobbs beat him down, they should have let it breathe a little bit, but they immediately went to a backstage comedy segment, which I didn't really understand. The crowd was going crazy. I'd have stayed there and let the crowd go crazy more.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that part. But Starks' promo was really good though. Next we had a promo by Jungle Boy that I thought was really good. He showed some fire, showed some sass. Thought was pretty well done. They had Christian come out. Well, he was in backstage. I thought he should have came out front to front, but instead of being backstage. But Jungle Boy definitely took a step in the right direction. We've talked about that he needed to step up and show some toughness. So we'll see. Next, we had the main event was Bryan Danielson against Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia got the upset victory, ended up choking out Bryan Danielson. Danielson didn't give up, but he went out, and so that was pretty interesting. So they definitely, with that show, they try to step up Starks, Hook, Jungle Boy, Daniel Garcia. So they try to push some of the younger guys, which I think a lot of people have been calling for, not just the former WWE guys. So I thought that was definitely a step in the right direction for them. I enjoyed the show; it was pretty good. Couple things I didn't care for. Moxley bleeding all the time, and I know Chris probably knew that was coming because I had already told him.
Yeah.
In the last 6 matches I've seen of his on TV, 5 of them he's bled. It don't make any sense. He had a match against Roosh for the first time, and he's bleeding within the first 2 minutes. I don't get it. I mean, I have no problem with bleeding. It's not the fact of bleeding, but I think it should mean something, and I just don't understand that. The other was a lot of people said it was a good match, and it was solid in some ways. But Sammy Guevara, and Dante Martin. What I didn't like about the match, it was a spot fest. It was just see who could do the biggest spots. And both of them are very talented. They don't have to do that.
No.
They can do some of that stuff. But I think the match was meant more if it was a little more storytelling. That was the only problem I had with the show. Out of the 3 shows, man, it was tough to pick a winner this week for me. But believe it or not, I think I'm gonna give AEW Dynamite just a slight edge.
See, I like Raw just a little bit better than AEW, but
It,
I
all
do
3.
think AEW is starting to move more in the right direction
Yep.
by finally trying to push some of their young guys, because if you just keep pushing former WWE guys, you're just going to become an organization that's guys that WWE was done with, and now you have them. You know what I mean? So they need to build their young talent. You need to have some of your own kind of homegrown talent in a way. You know what I mean? They got to start developing some stars. If they don't start developing stars, they're not going to grow. And I think finally maybe they're realizing that they got to start building up some of these young guys.
And they got to be able to do other stuff just besides in the ring. Sammy
Yeah.
Guevara tried to get on the mic and has not been really that good so far.
But what they should do, they should put a manager or put a mouthpiece with Sammy Guevara.
I think he can do it. I think that he's in his own head, in my opinion. I think he can do it. I think he's got the personality. I don't think he needs anybody. I think he's in his own head. That's my opinion. But I thought it was a step in the right direction with Jungle Boy. Starks, I thought was the only thing with Starks is I think he tries to be a little bit too much like The Rock. He tries to dress like The Rock did, the gold chains. I think that's a little too much. I don't think he needs to do that. But I think they're getting ready to adjust his character, and I think he could be really big. He's good in the ring. He's got some neck issues. I worry about that a little bit. I mean, he's got a bad neck. So, okay, we'll talk about Vince McMahon and Triple H, but there was one thing I wanted to bring up. I didn't know if you've seen it or not. WWE's having tryouts at SummerSlam right now. They're having tryouts and stuff. And
I
there
know
was
what
a
you're going to
surprise
say.
guy.
I had it written down.
There was a surprise guy there. Dwight Howard is there, and he says he wants to play in the NBA this year. But if not, he's ready to start his WWE career. So evidently,
and from reports I heard, they think he could be pretty good. From what I heard, I saw a thing with him on the mic, and he looked like he was into it and stuff. Like, I mean, I didn't see the video, just pictures, but I do. It's interesting because he's a big dude,
Yep.
and
And did you
I didn't realize that he was a big wrestling fan like that.
didn't realize that either. The other big thing too is I don't know if you knew this, that Big E is part of the crew right now since he's injured. He's part of the crew working with these young athletes. It's Triple H and his crew, and Big E's also one of them there now. They put Big E in that row to help the athletes and
That's
stuff.
cool.
And I did see a thing where the question was asked to Big E, how things going. He said, "Are you still getting paid?" People want to know. He said, "I haven't missed a paycheck. Haven't had to pay $1 out of my pocket for medical expenses. Everything's been completely paid for." So people whine about, and probably not the same for every WWE athlete. I don't know. I can't answer that question, but I know they've completely took care of Big E, and and I mean that's what they should do. I mean he got hurt on their watch, in their reign, so they should take care of him, and I think they do on injuries, and I know what they do for rehab and people. They've took care of people in rehab that's not even with a company anymore. They used to be with a company. So, but I thought that was interesting about Dwight Howard. Uh, well,
Yeah, I did too. I saw a thing about it. It's like, damn, Dwight Howard, and then I know I think he used to have some back issues, so I don't know. But hey, if you want to give it a shot, give it a shot.
yeah, they said he was working with some people on promos, so they must be pretty high on him, I guess. You want to do SummerSlam first, or Vince McMahon, or Triple H?
I don't care. We can do SummerSlam if you want.
We'll do the SummerSlam. I think the card's pretty interesting. I've seen where they've got about 1,000 seats left, plus they've upped it a little bit. They started out for 35. They've upped it to about 37, almost 38,000. I think they've sold almost 37,000, so roughly 1,000 seats left, which I would think by tomorrow they'll probably sell them. So that's pretty good showing, almost 40,000. I think that's
Oh
what
yeah.
they were looking for. So pretty good showing. Of course, I'm gonna
Hopefully,
go.
hopefully they get good weather.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I heard it was calling for rain, so I don't know. Um, I'm gonna go. But the matches that interested me the most, I'm gonna go over the whole card. But the match that I'm interested in the most, believe it or not, is the Mysterios and Judgment Day, and where they're going with that storyline. Is Dominic going to turn? Is Edge going to show up?
Yeah,
I'm
I
really
think,
interested in that story.
man. I know that on Monday, just the way that Dominic was acting, that made it seem like he was going to turn, but he never did.
Did
So,
you notice the shirt that Rhea was wearing? She was wearing Rhea Ripley was wearing Eddie Guerrero shirt.
oh, okay, was she?
Yeah, she was wearing Eddie Guerrero shirt. So it pretty interesting. So I'm really interested in that. Next, the match that I think is going to steal the show is Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin. I think it's going to
I'm
be really
looking
good.
real forward to that. I think that's going to be awesome.
Uh, Next, the match I'm looking forward to, and believe it or not, also is Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, because there's been some rumors on that. uh, there's been rumors that maybe Bayley's going to come back. So I could see Bayley coming back and going after Liv Morgan, and I could see. I look for Ronda Rousey to lose, and I think she's going to continue her feud with Charlotte Flair when Charlotte Flair comes back. And Charlotte Flair is in Nashville because that's where the Ric Flair thing is this Sunday. So they're all in Nashville right now. So or in Tennessee.
And if you're watching this Sunday morning, we'll be doing a watch along and reaction show for that Ric Flair card on Sunday. I can't think of what they're calling it, but
Ric Flair's last match.
yeah, Ric Flair's last match. We'll be if we're not on exactly at, I think it starts at what, 7:30 or something.
I can't remember 7, I think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, if we're not on exactly on 7, we'll be on. We will be on just maybe a few minutes late because I'll be at the Indiana Fever game before that.
But I'm interested in what's going to happen there. And then also the main event, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. You know, I think it's going to get I think it's going to get. I think there's going to be blood in this match. I think it's going to be a violent match. I think it's going to be really good. Does Theory get involved? Is the other issue. So, or does somebody else come back?
Theory says he's going to win his title back, and then he's cashing in on whoever wins.
At some point, people believe The Rock's going to show up and do something, to start
mess with the bloodline to set up him and Reigns.
Yeah, so you just don't know when that's going to happen. And then the other matches on the card, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. I'm sure that's going to be strong. They have strong matches.
Yeah, that'll be good.
You got the Miz and Logan Paul. I'm interested in that in that because they want Logan Paul to be a good guy. I don't know if he's a good guy. I think he's a natural heel.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty good card. Now there's supposed to be another match on the card that I was really looking forward to because I know it was going to be great. It was Riddle and Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Is Riddle really hurt, or they just writing him off TV right now?
I heard it's storyline driven, and Seth Rollins was very upset. He got on Twitter, told the fans that he's sorry, that he thinks these last 6 months his work he's proven he should be on the big show SummerSlam, and he's pretty upset, and they may have something else planned, but I don't know. He was upset, and he said you guys sing my song and are loud when I come out, and he said maybe someday maybe the company will hear it. But Triple H responded to him and said, "I hear you." So I don't know if this was pre-planned. Yeah. I don't know if the show was too heavy with people.
Yeah, you don't know if that was a work or if it was a shoot.
Yeah, so I don't know where they're going with that. But
yeah, I heard that because I heard that they were writing Riddle off TV for storyline, and I was like, okay, because I didn't think he was hurt, but I was surprised. I was really surprised that they weren't going to have that match because I was looking forward to it as well.
Because honestly, Chris, this is not the SummerSlam they planned on.
Yeah, but real quick, why would you not have that match? Why would you drop that match?
There's a reason, but I don't know what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a reason, but I don't have a clue. What the reason would be, unless they thought they was going to be hurting for time, and that's not a title match. And you can't cut Logan Paul to Miz because you got Logan Paul, and you know what I'm saying. I mean, even though I think it's one of the stronger matches, the other ones are title matches, and this Judgment Day is a bigger story. So I don't know, and this may be a story. So I really don't have.
Hell, they could add a match. They could add a match with Seth Rollins and somebody on the show.
There's been some rumors. There's been rumors that that maybe the Fiend shows up and takes them on, but everybody wants the Fiend to show up and everything. So I don't know where they're going with that. See, this ain't the SummerSlam they planned on. SummerSlam they planned on was going to be Cody Rhodes winning. I think was originally going to win that briefcase, and it was probably going to be Cody and Roman Reigns. And there was also had been talk about Randy Orton, but Randy Orton got hurt, and it talked about Orton going against Reigns. So this wasn't the card that they originally planned on, 3 months ago. So there were some changes made. So it should be interesting. Okay, next, I guess we'll talk about Vince McMahon. What's your take on all this?
I think the people that are still trying to bash him and because he retired, I think the people are crazy. Even like him or not, you have to respect the businessman that he is. Yep. And he took wrestling from territorial to global. And I think he got himself in a position where he really didn't have a choice. But I hope he has nothing but good things in retirement. I know he's retired.
Yeah.
But who's to say he still ain't going to have some input and stuff behind the scenes that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm sure he's going to be around. I just don't see him just staying away. You know what I mean? I look for him to be around even if he ain't running stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess the rumor is HBO's got a story getting ready to come out, and I heard it's going to be pretty bad about Vince. Didn't go any, didn't see any details what the stuff was supposed to be, but because people, and I'm not saying he didn't do things wrong. I'm sure he did. There's no doubt in my mind. He's got a huge ego. Probably thought he could do whatever. I guess some of the money he used was company money. Now they're saying so. He screwed up. There's no doubt about it. He's not the first. He ain't the last. But as far as what he did for the business, this business is 1,000 times better for what he did.
Oh yeah.
Than what it would have been because the
Pro
territory
wrestling wouldn't be where it's at today if it wasn't for Vince. I mean,
it's global. He took it from the bingo halls and the places like that to prime time.
and look how many people Vince McMahon has made millionaires.
Bunch.
You know what I mean? So I mean, that's why I say you can love him or hate him, but you have to respect the businessman that he was.
Well, he was a visionary. I mean, he was a visionary. People thought his ideas were crazy when he told them that he was going to do WrestleMania, when he was going to do this, when he's going to do that. I know Bobby Heenan said, "I thought this ain't going to work. He's nuts." And then when then all of a sudden he said, "Hey, he's got something here. He knows what he's doing." So I mean, the man's a genius. But hey, I never met the man, don't know the man. Might be the biggest piece of crap there ever is. But as far as the wrestling business goes, he's a genius.
I mean, you hear people bitching about him and saying he's this and that, but then you also hear a lot of former people from WWE talk about how great of it, I mean, how good of a dude he is and stuff. So, I mean, there's three sides to everything. Their side, his side, and the truth. So, but I mean, you hear a lot of the guys that like look at Undertaker, the respect he has for Vince and the way he talks highly of Vince. Brock Lesnar was ready to quit because you know what I mean. So,
well, he
he might be a dick to some people, but he has to be pretty good to other people for him to have them kind of relationships with some of the guys.
Undertaker said he was a father figure to him.
Yeah.
Mark Henry said he was a father figure to him. Brock Lesnar said he was a father figure to him.
Even Chris Jericho. Look at the respect Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho talked to him before Chris Jericho ever signed with AEW or any of that. He wouldn't talk to Vince about it.
Yep.
Mark Henry. Did you say him?
Yep.
Yeah, Big Show.
Yeah, Mark Henry said, "Hey, he messed up. He made a mistake. He'll pay for it. Whatever he did, it's going to cost him. I mean, it's. I mean, if he is truly done, it's probably the worst thing that could ever happen to Vince because Vince is a workaholic. He slept 3 hours a day. He did nothing but work. This is probably one of the worst things that could have ever happened to him. I mean, you're taking the main thing that mattered to him the most away. And how much it is away, we don't know. But I know I did see an interview today that Triple H did. I've seen it in writing that he said that he could never, said no one person could ever replace Vince McMahon. He said the way he worked and the way he did things. He said that he will be replaced because they have to. And he said we will take it to new levels, but it will be a team. He said it will be a team of people like Stephanie and Khan and probably other people. He said it'll be a team because there's no way one person could fill Vince McMahon.
Shawn Michaels will probably be involved somehow.
Well, I know he's pretty heavily involved down there in NXT. I look for Road Dogg to get called back. I really do.
And I love the idea of having Big E down there while he's recovering, helping the young people because I think that's a role he could be real good at.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it changes, but people have to realize it's not going to change overnight. You're not going to notice big changes overnight. You got give it a couple months and see where stuff starts going before you can really judge it. You know what I mean?
There's people some of these dirt sheets writing stories. Well, Jon Moxley could go back to WWE. First of all, he's under contract. And that was the other thing. Tony Khan came out and said everybody thinks everything's going to change, and he was kind of mocking people. And he said Adam Cole is signed to 2027, so he ain't going nowhere. And he named some other, and I thought it made him look really bad,
Yeah.
really. I mean, I didn't care for it at all. I mean, why do you need even to say anything? You know, they know they got a contract. You know they got a contract. Why do you have to say stuff like that? Don't make sense to me. He is not very professional.
No, he's not. And yeah, but fuck, you see guys get out of contracts all the damn time. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be. And honestly, I think Adam Cole's probably hating it right now. I'm thinking, damn, the guy that really believed in me is in charge now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he would love to be back with Triple H. I'm not saying he hates an AEW or anything
Yeah,
like
no, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying in his mind, he's probably thinking, damn, I'd like to be there. The guy that really believed in me is the one running the place.
that. But honestly, Chris, is he at the level? Is he at the level at AEW as he was with NXT? No. He was
No,
a top guy in NXT. He's not even close to that, and I don't think it's been used that well.
no, I
So
don't either.
that's just my opinion. Uh, a lot of people, they think, well, they're going to bring Moxley back. They're going to bring this guy. They're going to bring that. First of all, I don't know that Triple H can just do anything he wants to. He's got to answer to a board. I'm sure they may have say, here's what money you have to spend. I mean, it ain't just like he can just do this.
Yeah,
And let's say Moxley. The rumor is Moxley making $6 million a year. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. Let's say he is. Does the WWE need to pay him $6 million a year? I mean, I'm not putting down John Moxley. I'm not saying he's not talented, but they don't? Is he something that they don't have? Are you going to tell me that Moxley is a lot better than Seth Rollins?
no, and I would. I don't think they'll do that either because you have a lot of young. They have a lot of young talent in NXT that I think they can bring up and turn into stars. Because I think Braun Breaker can be a star. I think, damn it, Rikishi's son. I think his name is escaping my head right now.
uh, uh,
Solo Sikoa.
yeah,
I think he could be a big star. I think
Carmelo.
Carmelo Hayes, Cameron Grimes. I know he's a little small, but I think he could be a big star.
Well, guys like Grimes have to be happy that Triple H
Yeah.
is back because I don't think Grimes was ever going to get an opportunity with Vince
No, he might, and I think he might get an opportunity now
right now.
because
And see,
he's
I don't.
good. Man, he's damn good.
The only I wish Keith Lee was still available, but there is a guy that I wish they would bring back if they could, and that would be Karrion Kross. I
Yep.
would love to see him and Scarlett come back and use that presentation that vision that Triple H had for him. I think would have went real well in WWE. And he's still not signed with anybody. I don't believe. That's one I would like to see him bring back, and I would love to see him bring back Bray Wyatt. But I think Bray's a lot of money, so I don't know if it'll happen.
You think he'll bring? You think eventually? I don't know how long a contract he has, but you think he might bring back Samoa Joe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not maybe not as a wrestler, not necessarily as a wrestler, but maybe as like training and stuff.
He loves Samoa Joe. I mean, he kept
Yeah,
him around, hired him back, did everything he could do. Uh, but yeah, I think he would like to, but I would say Samoa Joe is
yeah. I don't
probably
know what his contract is, but I think once his contract's up, if he might end up back over there with the Triple
I'm
H.
sure Triple H would love to have Regal back.
Yep.
You know, but there's nothing he can do about those things. But I think there's going to be changes. I don't think if people think that WWE Raw or SmackDown is going to turn into NXT Black Gold, they're mistaken.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen because I've seen interviews where Triple H said, "This is a different level than this was my vision. It's what I wanted to do. I loved old NWA wrestling, and that's what I tried to make this into. That's what I wanted to be. That's not going. I don't know that. I mean, now he could try it, and if it took off, yeah, but you don't want to. First of all, you can't do a 3 hour just pure wrestling show on Monday night. You got to have entertainment, and people like the entertainment. So I just hope he can do the entertainment better and make the storylines better. That's the main thing. Make the storylines and make everything. That's one thing that Billy Ray said about the Attitude Era. What was nice about the Attitude Era, their big joke was everybody had something to do. And their joke. Do you remember that the Japanese tag team Kai-En-Tai?
Yeah.
He said their joke was, and not trying to be mean to Kai-En-Tai. He said even Kai-En-Tai had a story. Everybody had a story, and he said that's what they need to get back to. And I think that Triple H knows that he'll try to have something for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hopefully what I'm, because he had a lot of stuff for the guys down in NXT. You know, and
Yeah.
I think he's got a great mind. I think he's got people that's got great minds. I think you'll see some changes in Raw, but if the people think it's going to be back to black and gold, you may see some shades of that, but it's not going to be completely back to NXT black and gold. Now, I've heard some rumors that he's going to revamp NXT again.
Now, I would like to see NXT go back to kind of like the black and gold. That would be cool.
I think Triple H knew what was coming with Vince and them. I don't think it was out of the blue, because Triple H tried to get another show done. He wanted to do a third show, and it was going to be another version of NXT, but it was going to be for the trainees. You know, for a show for the younger people, that for those young guys that needed the reps and stuff. That's what he was wanting to do, and then they came in and just completely tore down the NXT Black and Gold. I think Triple H knew it was coming. He was trying to do something, and he may do that. See, they've got a show on the network now that used to be 205 Live. They've changed. They call it now, I think, Level Up, and they put a lot of the real younger, more greener people on that show. 3 or 4 matches on Friday nights, and you might see them expand that to 2 hours and do more of that. And there is a name out there that I wouldn't be surprised to see come back, and that's Johnny Gargano. He's never surprised. He's never signed with anybody yet, so that would be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what direction WWE moves in without Vince being there.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird not seeing Vince coming out and stuff, because always loved when that music come on, and Vince start strutting down the ramp.
I am interested to see if I think, this is my opinion, I think Naomi will come back to the WWE eventually. That's just my opinion. I don't think there's a huge market for her other places. I'm not saying that she don't have a market. I'm not saying she couldn't go to AEW, but I don't think she'd be in any better place in AEW than she would be in WWE. So I think Sasha, I don't know. I'm wondering, when Sasha left before and she went away for 6 months, she was ready to quit wrestling. Said she had lost her love of wrestling. She went to Japan and trained over in Japan and got her love back from wrestling. I'm wondering if she's lost her love again of wrestling and just don't want to wrestle. I heard she was charging $30,000 for a non-wrestling appearance. This is just appearance to sign autographs. $30,000.
That's what you were saying. That's crazy.
And that's not wrestling.
How could somebody even afford to bring her in to make it? You know what I mean? Not lose money.
Well, you'd have to charge even at $100, you would have to have. See, I don't even know the math on that. I'd have to have a piece of paper. I'm not
300 people
just to get your money back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
No, don't get me wrong. If you do it in California or something, there may be 1,000 people show up.
yeah, but man, I don't know. I'd be looking at other people.
Yeah, I don't know if she wants to wrestle anymore, and I think that she's got a big ego. And I'm not saying she's not great. The fans love her. She's very popular. I don't know if WWE needs her. They've got a lot of people down there in NXT that their women's division is really good. So I think they've got people down there. I'm not saying they're on Sasha Banks level, but you're not paying them like Sasha Banks.
Now, a question real quick. You think that Vince being gone and is going to change anything for you think it'll have any impact on the independent wrestlers?
Yes. I think that I know they invited independent wrestlers to this last tryout. I heard about half and half. I heard they had about half college athletes, about half independent wrestling.
Yeah.
But like Billy Ray said Thursday's show that I listened to today, he said the problem with the independent wrestlers, he said they think they know everything and they're used to doing stuff. And some of them guys were trained by trash. He said Billy Ray said I came into the business and I was trained by trash. He said I was terrible. And then I got with Paul Heyman and stuff, and I got trained right. But he said these guys come in and got a lot of bad habits and think they know everything and don't want to change. He said you take it, and he said another thing. He said it's very hard not to be athletic or been into a sport that where you've been coached to become a professional wrestler. He said, yeah. He said I've had some. He said he's got that school, and he said I've had a couple people that have come in and never was athletic, and they made it through and they've got signed. He said, but usually you've got to be athletic. You've had to play at least high school sports and been part of a team and been coached. Because if you're not used to being coached, he said that's a big. You know you got to be able to be, you got to be coachable.
Yep.
And he said that's a problem with some of these. That's what he said. Some of these independent wrestlers come in and they've been on the scene for independence for 10 or 12 years. Some of them ain't coachable.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but yeah, I think there's going to be. I think it's a good thing for WWE and WWE fans for Triple H and Stephanie and them to be in charge. I think it needed new blood. It needed a new set of eyes. And I'm not talking bad about Vince. Vince was a genius, but he was also 76 years old. And the problem was with him, and I've heard Bully say this, that when they wrote the show for Raw, they was writing it for an audience of one. They was writing it for Vince McMahon. If Vince McMahon liked it, it got put on. They wasn't thinking about
Yeah.
the fans. Whether Vince liked it. It's to Vince's taste. And they said Triple H is not that. Triple H may say, hey, that's not really my cup of tea, but it might be these people's cup of tea. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. I hope Jake Owens gets a chance to maybe try out for at least NXT, at least give him a chance on NXT and go from there.
I
Because
would love to get a chance to train.
I think he has the ability. I think he's good enough that he could do it. I really do. I wish he has a match tonight. I wish we could be at.
Well, see, that's one thing about the other big thing about Vince. He wanted people 6'2", over 220 pounds.
Yeah.
Triple H is not. He's not going. If the guy's 5'8" and he can get over,
Yeah.
you don't care if he's 5'8". You don't care if he's 6'10". It's whether that he can command. He can command an audience and perform in front of an audience and get over and not just move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be good. And then don't you know, because Khan's going to try to make if they change, Khan's going to try to make changes that try to outdo him. So it's going to be interesting to see
Could you
what happens.
imagine? Could you
Because
imagine if this would have happened a year sooner, year and a half sooner? Adam Cole's still there.
yeah,
Keith Lee's still there. Cross is still there. All these guys come up to the main roster, and with Triple H vision,
hell, Daniel Bryan might have still been there too because he might have been able to work out something with Triple H to be able to do the other stuff he wanted to do.
well, they tried. They tried to work out something with Japan. Yeah, WWE reached out to Japan and tried to work out something for Daniel Bryan to go to Japan. So they tried. But the one thing that Daniel Bryan said in the interview that Vince McMahon could not give him, he told Vince, I want to bleed. And Vince said, I can't do that. But now it looks like that they're going to go that direction because they're going TV 14 on the pay-per-views. And I think
the weekly shows too. I think.
yep. I don't think you're going to see them bleed on TV. I think you might see them bleed every now and then on pay-per-view, which I have no problem with. Do it on the big show.
Yeah.
It means more to me, and not that I want anybody to get hurt, Chris, but when you see a guy bleed from his nose or bleeding just a little bit because he actually got hit, that means they're being physical.
Yeah.
Not cutting their head, not
Yeah.
blading. Blading don't mean a lot to me.
No.
That's just me personally.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to SummerSlam. I tell you what, ever since WrestleMania, every pay per view they've had has delivered.
I'm looking forward to SummerSlam, and I'm also looking forward to the big UFC tomorrow night. I think that card's stacked. It's going that main card is going to be real good.
Yep. Oh
I
yeah.
think.
And Chris, we're only like a month away, maybe 5 weeks away. They got another big show, Clash at the Castle, and over in
Yeah.
England, like 75 or 80,000 people is going to be there, and that's going to be a huge show. And they're going to have to go right into that, start building on that. I would assume it's going to be Drew and Roman. There's a match on SmackDown tonight. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in a I think it's a street fight, and whoever wins gets that shot against whoever's champion.
You think? You think Fury might show up?
There have been some rumors about Fury maybe being against somebody on there. At one time, it was Drew McIntyre, but that may have changed. There's been some rumors. I seen a story today. Bobby Lashley possibly against Mike Tyson.
Huh.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Yes, that would be interesting. All right. Anything else that you wanted to talk about before we get out of here for today?
No, I don't think so. We'll probably next week, early next week, we'll probably do a recap of the.
Oh yeah, we'll do a recap of the SummerSlam and everything.
Yep.
I know we have pro wrestler Logan Myers will be on Wednesday. I think the ladies' man Mike King's gonna be on one day. Working on a couple other people. Might have, if everything works out, we might have Dex Royal on this week, which I'm hoping because we haven't had him on yet, so it'd be cool to get him on here.
Yep, I agree.
So, all right, follow us on our social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room. That's where we post everything about the shows, our shows, other wrestling shows. If you're looking for a wrestling show to watch, I share about almost everybody's flyer, so you can find it on our page too. So, check it out. Go support independent wrestling, whatever area you live in. If you live in Indiana, next weekend. August 6th and 7th, go check out DCCW. Two big shows. Elijah Burke, the Pope's going to be on both shows. One show is a benefit for a kid that has to have a big surgery, and it's to help with that. So try to come out and support him. $20 front row, $10 general admission. I think I'm expecting big things out of them two shows this week or next weekend. So
yeah, I am too.
But we will see. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on GWR.